to this now. The Democratic Alliance in Johannesburg has slammed Mayor Dada Morero's comments about the city's finances. Now, he says the metro endured a period of mismanagement, particularly when the city was run by a DA-led coalition. The Democratic Alliance's Belinda Kayser-Echeozonjoku joining us now for more on these particular allegations by the Mayor of Johannesburg. Belinda, good evening to you. Thank you as always for your time. 23 billion rand in unauthorized, irregular, fruitless and wasteful expenditure is being blamed on your previous administration. As the Democratic Alliance, I should be clear. How do you respond to that accusation?
Good evening, Holly, and good evening to the viewers. The Mayor's press briefing is quite unfortunate, his utterances during that press briefing, because firstly, it is misinformation that he is peddling and is being untruthful in what he's sharing with the residents of Johannesburg. The Democratic Alliance is not responsible for the fruitless, wasteful and irregular expenditure. The 23 billion rand of UIFWE is spanning from 2010. So the 23 billion rand is an accumulated amount of fruitless, wasteful and irregular expenditure that started in 2010, which obviously we know that the ANC had an outright majority from 2010, and it is their failure to deal with their comrades, their cadres that they have deployed in the city of Johannesburg that has, been responsible for these irregular expenditure. The DA had only been in government from 2016 to 2019, which is 3 years, and then again in 21 November until January 2023, which was 14 months. And I can assure you the DA has started dealing with some of the backlog of irregular and fruitless expenditure that we inherited. And unfortunately, we were voted out on the 30th of January 2023. So the Mayor is spreading misinformation. If he had spoken to his own finance department, you would have seen that the reports that served in council also disputes what he says.
If indeed this is a pattern of mismanagement under successive ANC governments in the city of Johannesburg, the residents are going to say, who are we to believe between the ANC and the Democratic Alliance? What proof do you have from your end that this indeed is not the legacy of the Democratic Alliance in government?
Let me say this to you, Polly. The proof is in the reports that is at the MPAC committee and the city's annual audited financial statements, which the Mayor should have gotten a brief on. And it's unfortunate because that he has not been briefed by the MPAC committee. If he cared to have taken some sort of advice, which he never does, because the MPAC committee sat for last week, Monday and Tuesday, and they discussed precisely the issues of fruitless, wasteful, irregular expenditure and unauthorized expenditure. That is not necessarily only because of the minister's letter, but to deal with a backlog that goes as far back as 2010. The proof is in the MPAC reports and the annual audited financial statement that served in council. And if the Mayor was not deliberately trying to mislead the residents of Johannesburg, you would have made that public also and provided the information. In fact, the finance department was on a radio station in 702 not too long ago, last week sometime, to explain that this accumulated amount is for about 15 years. And it's unfortunate that the Mayor has decided to play a blame game, because the DA was starting to deal with some of this fruitless and wasteful expenditure. And in fact, we placed some officials on suspension which the ANC then brought back into the government when they took over in 2023. And last month, a report served in council where officials are being held accountable. And this report was initiated by the Democratic Alliance-led government in 2022, when we started with the investigations to deal with the fruitless and wasteful expenditure and hold people accountable.
Well, to prove that he is doing something about it, as he puts it, he says the disciplinary board that has been put together is already concluded a preliminary investigation on 6 matters totaling an amount of 535 million rand. Add to that what he says is a war room initiative, and he also says that is also beginning to bear fruit. Do you agree with that assessment? What are you seeing on the ground? What is the evidence telling you?
The evidence is telling us very differently. And some of these, let me just start with Tolly, the disciplinary board. Once again, the mayor is unfortunately very economical with the truth. And I would really urge the executive mayor to speak to his former MMC of GCSS, Councillor Loyiso Masuku, because a report served in council in 2023 where the disciplinary board was put together, and there was even a statement that was issued where the disciplinary board was appointed. So the mayor is spreading a whole lot of misinformation that he is now the one dealing with this. This had started already. We are not interested in a blame game. We are saying that everything that we have initiated, the mayor is now starting to do something about it because he is getting pressure from National Treasury. And some of those are precisely because the Democratic Alliance have been writing to National Treasury to request for investigations into some of the facts, the issues that the municipality, the governance issues, the maladministration that is not being dealt with. There was a report last month in the last council meeting that the officials are being held accountable and are being brought, to go for disciplinary measures and things like that. Those, as I said, those officials, the two officials that were brought and the monies that we asked to be investigated was initiated when the Democratic Alliance was in government. So it's unfortunately that the mayor is using the current platform that he has to start doing election campaigning for 2026. We would really urge him to put the facts and be truthful when he speaks to the residents of Johannesburg, because it erodes even further public trust if he comes with such misinformation to the residents.
Belinda, I suspect this is going to be a conversation that doesn't just end tonight. It's got to be an ongoing one for the residents to understand exactly, and in particular to be clear as who is to be held accountable for such mismanagement. For the time being, let me thank you very much for your time. The DA's Belinda Kayser-Echeozonjoku talking to us about the claims made by the Johannesburg mayor that amounts in excess of 23 billion rand in basically mismanagement were under the leadership of the Democratic Alliance at the time that they ran a coalition government in Johannesburg. Well,